Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. Let's continue the polymorphism topic, and now we are going to draw to understand the concepts how it works with Java. Before we start talking about polymorphism and Java, I think a really good analogy will help throughout this video. Let's start with an analogy that I like to explain polymorphism. That's called the remote control on the TV. So imagine that we have a remote control. This remote control is Samsung, and it was created in 2019. So the remote control will have a couple options, as you know, and imagine that we have a few buttons that will just trigger an app. We can call this one Netflix, and then another one Prime Video. So usually the remote control will be used against a TV. So if we have a remote control from 2019, remote control, we usually have also a TV. So if you buy a TV, you get a remote control. So this is a TV, Samsung 2019. So basically, as you can see here, you have exactly the same remote control and the Samsung TV. We have the same functionalities. So when you press a button, the one responsible for executing that action is not the remote control. The remote control is just sending a signal, and the one responsible for actually executing the action is the TV. So you can think of the remote control as the reference variable and the TV as the object. So far, everything has been the same. So if we have to bring our example, we have computer, new computer. So basically this is what is happening. So remote control and object, the TV, they are the same, exactly like the reference variable and the object. So they are exactly the same in this case. But sometimes it's also possible to use the remote control in newer versions. So imagine that now we buy a new TV, and this TV is a Samsung 2021. And we have all the functionalities. Basically, the 2021 model is extending the functionalities from the 2019. And we have YouTube. Now, let's say we lost the remote control. And this remote control is working in the old TV. But since they are the same, from the same company, they are also working with this TV. But as you can see, the remote control only has two buttons. We have Netflix and Prime Video. And the 2021 model, we have Netflix, Prime Video app, and we also have YouTube. Now, if I'm using this remote control, can I play YouTube on my 2021 TV? So the answer is no, because there is no option for me from the remote control to access the YouTube on this TV. So the remote control can only trigger the apps that we have available in our TV that matches exactly the same as we have in our remote control. So keep that in mind, because now we are going to talk about code. And this is basically what we have been doing so far. Now let's give one example here. That's the computer. So if we go back to our code and we check the computer class, we have the same as we have in product. So we have name and we have price. We have get name and we have get price. So we can do something like this in our case. We know that the computer C equals new computer works, but we can also do something like this. Product equals new computer. And that will also work because of the inheritance rules that we have in Java. The rules are everything that you have in your superclass will be inherited in your subclass. So let's create a new product test here. Right click, Java class, product test 02. And I will do the same. Product, new computer. And this one is Ryzen 9, and the price is 1,000. I thought I changed the value to price. So let me see here, computer, product, price, and then on computer, yeah, we just forgot to rename this one. You can press Shift F6 and then change it to price. If tomato is the same, Shift F6 and change it to price. And when you do that, everything else will be updated because of the refactoring. Okay, so we have here product, that's the reference variable, it's like the remote control, and we have the object, that's like the TV, that is a computer. So basically, the remote control, if I copy this remote control, that's a product. Let me add here. So this is a product reference. What options do I have inside my product? Well, the options that I have are exactly the ones that we saw there. We have, for example, name, and of course, get name and price. So we have these two options. This means that if I trigger this, the object will execute exactly the same functionality. And the object that we have now is a computer. So the object type is a computer. So we have a reference variable that is a product, but the object is a computer. And we can have a reference like this. So basically, this is what is happening. We have a reference type that is a product, and then I can trigger name, price, and of course there is one more that's coming from the taxable, because a product is a taxable. That is the calculate tax value. That's it here. Okay, so we have calculate tax value. Now, since we have exactly the same, it means that we can also trigger the same here in our object because of the inheritance rules. Calculate tax value. So let's see this in action. I'm just increasing the size here. Now, what we are going to do is give some data to this object, and then we are going to print the data from the product reference. Let's start the product test2, and then we are going to salt product.get name, product.get price, and then product. Actually, this one we should not use inside a println. Product. Or actually, we do need to use inside a println. Yeah. Control Shift F10. And as you can see, we have the results. So even though I'm triggering from product, the one responsible for executing and giving me the values back is the object. So we have the product, the reference variable, triggering name, price, and calculate tax value, and the one responsible for actually executing the action and giving me the values is the object. Now we can do the same for tomatoes. So let's add here just one intersection, and I will copy exactly the same, and I will add it here. So we have product 2, that's now a new tomato, and this one will be a Dutch tomato. And let's say that we are buying 6 tomatoes. So product2.get name, product2.get price, product2.calculate tax value. Control Shift F10. And we have both results. So as you can see, everything works fine because of the inheritance rules in Java that says that all the subclasses will have the attributes and methods from the superclass. Now, going back to our example, we also said that if we have a different attribute in our object, in this case the TV, we cannot access through the reference variable, and this is true. Let's say that we have now tomato. So we have tomato here. And tomato is also an object, and this object is being referenced by this guy. Actually, we do have another one, that's product 2, not the same. Okay, so let's say that now tomato will have one special attribute, because we are extending the functionalities of product, and tomato will have one private string, best before. That's basically a date that's going to represent when we should consume this product. So best used before, best used or consumed, best consumed before, and let's create getters and setters. Getters and setters, best consumed before. So as you can see, we have a new functionality inside this object. But since the reference variable is a product, we will never be able to actually get back the new attribute. So this new attribute that we are adding here, best consumed before, will never be reachable from a reference variable that is a product. And the proof of that is if we come here and try to call product2 dot and get something, we don't have that option displayed. So technically you need a reference variable that is also a tomato. So if I create here a tomato reference variable, for example, new tomato, you will notice, I will just leave a blank here to show you that through T I can get the best consumed before. But there are ways to fix that problem, but we are going to do that in the next video. So far, I hope you understand the concept of polymorphism, where you have a reference variable and you can have a different type of object. Now, the name of this, what we are doing here, is called widening cast. Widening cast is always that cast you are doing without having to do anything. It's basically automatically done. So we have a product as a reference variable, and we have an object that is one of the subclasses of product. So every time you do, like on the left side a superclass and on the right side a subclass, we have a widening cast. So I think that's enough information for one video. Let's continue in the next one. Bye.